Are you looking for the best Bluetooth speakers? In this video, we will look at some of the 5 best Bluetooth speakers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 4. Among all the speakers I've tested, none have impressed me quite as much as the Wonderboom 4, mainly owing to the quality of sound it's able to produce in such a small package. It's about the size of a small candle and can easily fit into a backpack, carry-on, or even a tote, yet it's loud enough to hear from across my living room, all the way into my kitchen. Pairing is simple. All you have to do is hold the pairing button and it shows up in your phone or tablet's Bluetooth menu right away. It will connect immediately when powered back on. You can easily pair 2 Wonderbooms together for a stereo experience with a couple button pushes. At louder levels, usually around 80% or higher, sounds can start to get muddled, especially with genres like hip-hop or metal. I tested with Lil Wayne's The Carter II and Lamb of God Sacrament, and the vocals can drown out instrumentals. It's not enough to detract from how good the Wonderboom sounds, though. When kept below that threshold, songs sound as clear and vibrant as on other UE speakers such as the Boom. As for podcasts and audiobooks, I was able to play those at louder volumes without audio quality suffering, and could hear them over the water running as I washed my dishes. The Wonderboom 4 is larger than the JBL Clip 5, so it's slightly less portable, and its elastic loop is less effective than the Clip 5's metal clasp for attaching it to things. But the speaker also produces clearer sound, likely owing to its larger size. To test its IP67 rating, I dropped the Wonderboom into a pool of water in my sink 3 times while playing music. The music sounded muffled and quite terrible at first, but once the water dripped out, the speaker was back to sounding good as new. You absolutely should not try this, but know that if you're using this as your pool party speaker, it's safe. It has a plastic door that covers the charging port when not in use to prevent water from sneaking in and mucking things up. It's rugged enough to withstand being carried with you on your next vacation, or just getting moved from room to room. The Wonderboom 4 is the most portable speaker I've tested that gets closest to the sound quality of bigger speakers, like the Pulse 5. It's quite similar to our previous best Bluetooth speaker overall, the Wonderboom 3. Its sound is nearly identical, and the design hasn't changed. The biggest improvement is the switch from micro USB to USB-C, which will make the Wonderboom 4 easier to travel with if you have a phone or laptop that charges over USB-C, as most do these days. For this model, Ultimate Ears also added a podcast mode to the equalizer, and while it did make voices sound more crisp, I didn't find the difference noticeable enough to change modes when listening to audiobooks or podcasts. Number 2. Sony XB100 Compact Bluetooth Speaker. If you want to get a speaker that's affordable and doesn't cut corners on audio quality, Sony's SRS XB100 sounds surprisingly good for costing well under $100. The sound isn't quite as clear at loud volumes as with the Wonderboom, but the Sony has louder bass, which some people may prefer, and it's overall clearer and louder than the JBL Go 4. While listening to Elton John's Madman across the water, I found the vocals easy to hear without the instrumentals being drowned out. For hip-hop tracks like Run the Jewels' Blockbuster Night PT1, the bass felt punchy without overpowering Killer Mike or LPS vocals, even with the volume turned up while I was running a robot vacuum in another room. While JBL and Logitech use a fabric covering over their speakers, Sony uses a matte plastic finish that's more durable, easy to grip, and pleasant to look at. The speaker comes in 4 colors, including vibrant shades of orange and blue. The speaker has a fabric loop that you can easily attach to a backpack, though the Clip 5's mechanism is more effective. It also has the longest battery life of any travel-size speaker I've tested, lasting about 13 hours. Number 3. JBL Clip 5. Most of these Bluetooth speakers are portable, but the Clip 5 is the most travel-friendly I've tested thanks to the built-in eponymous clip that lets you attach it to nearly anything, including a bike basket or shower head. The speaker has rubber ribs on the back that allow you to place it on smooth surfaces without having to worry about it sliding all over the place. Helpful since it can't stand upright like the other speakers I've tested. The speaker is waterproof and dustproof, and it can withstand a few knocks against a hard surface. It's easy to underestimate the sound quality of a speaker as small as the Clip 5. In my testing, it managed to sound clear and vibrant even with outdoor sounds like waves and wind in the background. In the shower, podcasts were easy to hear over the water, and I never had to blast it to full volume just to catch what someone said. Over a couple weeks of testing, I was able to get about 12 hours of battery life out of the Clip 5. My only gripe with the Clip 5 is that, unlike the Clip 4, the buttons for turning the device on and off and pairing to other devices aren't raised buttons. That makes them harder to operate if you can't see them, like when the speaker is clipped behind a shower head. The buttons for play/pause and volume are all raised and are on the front of the speaker, so they're easy to see and access, but I wish that were true of all the buttons. Number 4. JBL Go 4. Although the Clip 5 is a solid portable speaker, JBL's Go 4 is even smaller, and I've found it to be more fun for carrying between rooms when I'm working at home. Its tiny rectangular shape is easy to hold, and it sort of feels like an old-timey radio. One corner has a fabric loop that you can use to attach the speaker to a bag or to dangle it from your finger. The Go 4 is about the size of a deck of cards and as thick as a mass-market paperback, but it packs enough sound to be heard across a room. While music doesn't sound quite as clear on it as on the Clip 5 or Wonderboom 4, podcasts and audiobooks sound as crisp. Given its small size, its battery doesn't last quite as long as those of other small speakers like the Wonderboom, but I've been able to consistently squeeze 7 hours out of this speaker. Like the Clip 5, the power and pairing buttons on the Go 4 aren't raised, so they're hard to press without L1. Number 5. Sonos Move 2. The Sonos Move 2 is the best-sounding Bluetooth speaker I use on a regular basis. It's significantly larger than even the UE Megaboom, though much smaller than the JBL Boombox, so you probably won't want to take it with you on your weekend getaway, but it's still small enough to carry from room to room, and the built-in handle lets you do so easily. I'm also impressed that, unlike nearly every other speaker I've tested, the Move 2 has a removable battery, which should make it straightforward to replace. While the Move 2 is pricier than similar-sized speakers like the JBL Pulse 5, its sound is unmatched. The bass is loud and powerful, vocals sound crisp, and everything sounds clear even at full volume. The Move 2 has all of Sonos' smart features, like multi-speaker pairing and adaptive audio, altering the sound to fit your room, and can easily be controlled and adjusted from within the Sonos app. It also has direct Amazon Alexa integration, so you can use it as your main smart speaker, and AirPlay integration that lets you stream directly from your Apple devices without having to pair over Bluetooth. Given its name, it's no surprise that the Move 2 is so easy to lug around, but its charging method isn't quite as mobile. Instead of using a simple charging cable like most companies, Sonos gave the Move 2 a docking station, which is basically a ring that you plop the bottom of the speaker into when it needs to charge. With an IP rating of IP56, it's not as protected from the elements as the Pulse 5 or the Megaboom, but it's still protected from heavy jets of water, so it should be safe from some raindrops, but not from a drop in the pool.